May 15th. I'm proud and happy to be joined by Mr. Tom Labange. Madam Clerk, we have several items today. Before we get started, and then City Attorney, you direct me, I do have some public comment cards. Why don't all from the same individual, why don't I go 3 minutes and just have her come forward, and she'll have 3 minutes at one time to speak on all of her items. So Ms. Ramirez, we're going to start, and we're giving you 3 minutes, and you can just talk about every item that you've had. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Councilman Wesson. That is truly a gift. Thank you very much. I'd like to start off by saying thank you. This is a matter of principle. I'd like to start with item number 2. It says that the Chief Legislative Analyst report relative to including in the city's 2015-16 federal legislative program support for continued funding of the Los Angeles Air Force Base and the Space and Missile Systems Center. I am reminded of a story that I read on when India, the country India, has recognized that they are deficit in their military, so they are afraid now that they could be overtaken by other countries should there be war with Pakistan or neighboring countries. I am grateful to the United States military and our United States Air Force Base because, again, we can scramble our pilots immediately should we be under attack. God bless the United States military. We should fund the United States military because there will never be peace. We must accept that. So again, we must edify, instill, support our military veterans and our military Air Force bases, so we can not only protect our military bases but also be protected as law-abiding American citizens in the sovereignty of America. God bless this beautiful country. And I'd like to also say here for the item number 4, it talks about low-income housing, tax credits. Let's provide housing for our military veterans first and foremost, and our pilots, because many of our pilots, God bless them, are staying in crash pads where they just land and pay somebody so they can stay and spend the night and fly back out the next morning. That's unconscionable. Again, our pilots need beautiful homes to live in, and people are price gouging them because they think that they make millions of dollars. God bless our pilots. Oh, such great studs. Anyway, we need housing first and foremost for our military, our pilots, and our law-abiding middle-class citizens, and that is imperative. So again, if our military veterans who are active or inactive, they need jobs, they need housing, and they need comfort, they need bus passes, they need everything. We need to be there for our military veterans, and God bless our mayor who said he will try to house all our veterans by the end of this year. So again, we need to implement professionalism, and we need to protect our military veterans and our pilots and our middle-class law-abiding citizens. And lastly, ethics. We need to hire people with ethics, not a 2-week crash course like they do in law school. You either are born with it or you're not. You either have it or you don't. If you don't have ethics, you will break the city. Again, God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Madam Clerk, we have 10 items. In fact, I believe we can move through the agenda rather quickly. So why don't we start off with the first 10 items that I view as consent items.
All right, the first 10
Mr. Labange wanted to say something.
Compliment our own Joe Buscaino and our great Congresswoman Janice Hahn. They converted with the federal government housing for homeless veterans in San Pedro, and they had a dedication, I believe, the week before. So action is taken. More needs to be done, but I wanted, for the record, Madam Clerk, for Congresswoman Hahn and Councilman Buscaino. Thank you.
Thank you. So please proceed.
Well, the first 10 items on this morning's agenda, item 1 is actually the mayor's reappointment of Ms. Ana Teresa Dahan to the City Ethics Commission. And then items 2 through 10 are resolutions and reports from the Chief Legislative Analyst establishing the city's position to support various legislative matters. 2 is to support the continued funding of the LA Air Force Base and Space and Missile Systems Center. 3 is to support AB 1335, the Building Homes and Jobs Act. 4 is to support AB 35, increasing the amount of state low-income housing tax credits. 5 is to support AB 90 relative to the Federal Housing Trust Fund. 6 is to support AB 1056 to authorize housing authorities to create housing supports programs. 7 is to support AB 4046, extending the operation of the Baldwin Hills Conservancy Act indefinitely. And 8 is to support HR 1433, providing tax incentives for the establishment of supermarkets.
We'll continue item 8.
Item 8 will
Yeah.
be continued.
Yes.
And then item 9 is to support SB 695, augmenting high school health curriculum to educate adolescents on sexual assault prevention. And item 10 is to support SB 32, approving a statewide greenhouse gas emissions limit.
Okay, let me try to run through this then. On item 1, we will recommend the reappointment to the full council. On items 2 through 7, we will adopt the CLA report and resolution. We continued 8. On 9, we'll adopt the CLA report and resolution. We'll do the same with item 10. So without objections, those items will be deemed approved.
No objection.
Okay, let's move now to, let's combine items 11 and 12 together as well.
And items 11 and 12 are reports from the City Ethics Commission and the City Attorney and ordinances relative to adding a city ticket distribution policy as an Ethics Commission regulation, amending the gift provision in the LA Municipal Code, and repealing the office holder controlled fund provisions of the Ethics Commission's regulations.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Heather just to come forward, let you say a few words about these items, and then we'll move on them. The floor is yours. Good to see you and the crew.
Good morning. It's nice.
Wait, is there a new addition?
There is an addition. She's actually not new to the Ethics Commission staff, but she's not typically in commission meetings with us. She is here because she's a governmental ethics ordinance expert, and she knows all about gifts and can field questions that might be beyond my pay grade.
Welcome, expert. Go right ahead, Ms. Holt.
And I should say her name is Shannon Pryor.
Thank you. Welcome.
I'm Heather Holt, for the record, for the Ethics Commission, and the Ethics Commission has adopted a ticket distribution and disclosure policy and asks for the City Council's approval of that. The policy governs the distribution of tickets to facilities or events that are made by city departments, and this is permitted under state law as long as certain minimum criteria are met. For example, the distributions must meet a stated public purpose, and the tickets that are distributed and the recipients of those tickets must be publicly disclosed. If a city department distributes tickets to a city official in compliance with an adopted ticket policy, and that city official uses the tickets in compliance with the policy, then the ticket does not constitute a gift to the city official in terms of state and city laws that might require, that might limit or require the reporting of gifts. The Ethics Commission's policy meets all of the state's minimum criteria and also adds some additional criteria. For example, the state requires that disclosure be made to the Fair Political Practices Commission, and the Ethics Commission's policy also requires that disclosure be made to the Ethics Commission. In addition, the Ethics Commission's policy mirrors the provisions about gifts in the Governmental Ethics Ordinance by prohibiting the solicitation of tickets from restricted sources, which are, broadly speaking, persons who have active business with a city official's department. There are two departments in the city, the Mayor's Office and the Harbor Commission, who previously adopted ticket policies that applied just to their departments. The Ethics Commission's policy is a citywide policy, and it applies to all city departments and would supersede any previously adopted policy. And this will ensure consistency and will treat all city departments and city officials equally under state and city law. The policy is included in, or is incorporated into...
Let me interrupt you for
Yes.
1 minute. You know what I forgot to do, Madam Clerk, Mr. City Attorney, is to indicate that the public comment on the items is now closed. We will have general public comment, so please continue.
Yes, the policy has been incorporated into the administrative code, and the Ethics Commission also recommends that the council adopt a provision that would be part of the municipal code, which would alert readers of the governmental ethics ordinance to the fact that this policy does exist and can affect the gift laws. Finally, it was adopted as a regulation of the Ethics Commission, and the charter does require the City Council to act to either approve or disapprove the Ethics Commission's regulations within 60 days, and the deadline on this regulation is June 22nd. That is a very quick, broad overview. I would be happy to answer questions. There are over 150 other jurisdictions in the state that have adopted similar policies, so this puts us in good company, and the Ethics Commission urges approval.
Okay, that was a great presentation. Mr. Labange, I'm comfortable. You may have a question.
Yeah, I'm coming. I want to look a little bit more, but as far as when you go to make a presentation, this is the only thing that I don't. I mean, you have something in your district. You go to a...
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Tom Labange. It's the first time I've ever talked to this
Yes,
microphone on
good to
this
meet
day.
you.
But let's say you go to a theater and it's their 1,000th play or something, and you present a commendation. Okay, you're doing that to represent the city.
Yes.
Yet, but you have to fill all the forms out. Or whatever.
Yes, there is a disclosure requirement, and that actually, if you are performing a
Civic duty.
yes.
On behalf of the people of Los Angeles, we did this for the 1,000th play of Tinkerbell, let's just say that.
Yes.
And whatever it is. So.
Yes, and there is a separate provision under state law that permits that to occur when you are there at the request of whoever is hosting the event, and you're
Right.
part of the official proceedings or
Right.
the event.
Right.
And so that would be separate from this ticket policy, but yes, there is disclosure that's attached to that.
Right. Is that only on when there's the time period when you're supposed to file the disclosure?
Well, under this policy, the disclosure would be required within 30 days after the ticket distribution.
Right. For you?
For the department that's issuing the tickets.
Yeah, but you're the Ethics Commission.
Yes.
Right. So what if there was something like you went to an event and you filled the form out and sent it up to the 23rd floor, whatever you are?
Yes.
You went to an event, you made a presentation. Is that basically what you need?
That is basically what you need, but
Right.
disclosure is also required to be lodged with the Fair Political Practices Commission. So it would be disclosure in two places.
Got it. I do think it should, I'm ending my term here because there's some things I haven't gone to
Yeah.
because of this requirement.
Yeah.
And I wanted to celebrate the city and also enhance the city, but I didn't go because of all the other stuff. Maybe afterwards I'll look back and try to think of something to make it easier for people to obviously comply with the law and broadcast where they went, but encourage them to go because
Yeah.
you've never had our jobs. We've
That's
never
right.
had your jobs.
That's
But
right.
our jobs is to go out and make people believe in Los Angeles. But if you can't go where the people are, then it sometimes hampers that goal we all have.
Absolutely, and this policy
So I'll
will...
probably talk to you about that because
Great.
one of the things, Mr. Wesson, in the end, as we depart from this role that I have that conversation. Thank you.
You're welcome. And this policy will help on that end significantly.
Got it.
Well, again, thank you. So what I'm going to suggest on this is that without objection, we adopt the city attorney reports and draft ordinances. Okay, so with that said, that will be the order. That brings us where, Madam Clerk?
That completes all the agenda items.
So if I could have Ms. Ramirez, I should have let you give your general public comment when you were up there, so I hate to bring you back down, but you have another minute for your general public comment.
Thank you again. I am delighted that we are taking now a positive step, City of Los Angeles, to now focus on crucial items such as the protection and the democratic sovereignty of Los Angeles and America. And that is the support of our great military air power at the Los Angeles Air Force and the United States military, which is the greatest in the world by far. And if we're not ready, everyone will clamor and attack the United States military top brass. So we need to support them. God bless America. We also need to implement ethics, integrity, decency, humanity. Can we amalgamate all those and make a person with all those powerful and tangible attributes? I've seen only two right here, Officer Marco Duarte and Officer Morris. God bless you. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we need that. And again, house our military veterans, get them off the streets, and our pilots, avoid the crash pads, man. We need to get up out of this. God bless America and the United States military. Thank you.
God bless us. Miss Ramirez, what about this fine gentleman?
I'm sorry? You know what?
We'll get to know him. He's every bit as good as the other two.
It's premature. Let me first know you.
Thank you. Okay, so that concludes general public comment, and with that said, this committee is adjourned. Thank you all.